Welcome back to the channel USA Coins 69, where we uncover the secrets and stories behind some of the most intriguing coins from around the world. Today, we're shining the spotlight on a seemingly common yet potentially extraordinary piece, the United States Roosevelt 1 dime from 2005, complete with its mint mark. While most people think of dimes as everyday pocket change, some specific examples from this year could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll learn exactly why a 2005 Roosevelt dime could be worth an incredible $70,000. Let's start by diving into the background of this iconic coin. The Roosevelt dime has been a staple of American currency since it was introduced in 1946, honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a leader admired for his strength and resilience through difficult times like the Great Depression and World War II. The dime's design features Roosevelt's dignified profile on the obverse, symbolizing perseverance, while the reverse carries the olive branch, torch, and oak branch, representing peace, liberty, and strength. Now, the year 2005 may not jump out as particularly special to many casual observers, but in the numismatic world, it holds several fascinating stories. The United States Mint produced billions of Roosevelt dimes that year, spread across three primary mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each of these mints leaves its distinct mark on the coin, a tiny letter indicating its place of origin, Philadelphia usually without a mint mark for circulation coins, Denver marked with a D, and San Francisco with an S, mostly on proof coins designed for collectors. Most 2005 Roosevelt dimes out there are your average circulated coins, passing from hand to hand in everyday transactions. However, the minting process is complex, and occasionally, errors or unique characteristics emerge, creating rare varieties that become highly prized by collectors. One of the most fascinating aspects to explore is the realm of mint errors and varieties. For the 2005 Roosevelt dime, these errors can include double die varieties, where elements of the coin's design, often the date, lettering, or even Roosevelt's portrait, appear doubled due to a misalignment during the die engraving process. These doubled images are subtle but striking and instantly elevate the coin's rarity and collector appeal. Another key error to look out for is the off-center strike, where the coin blank isn't properly aligned in the press. This misalignment results in a quarter or more of the coin's design being missing or pushed to the edge, creating a dramatic visual effect. Such off-center dimes are quite rare, especially in higher grades, and command significant premiums. Additionally, die cracks can sometimes be found on 2005 dimes. These are tiny raised lines caused by cracks in the dies used to strike the coins. While they might seem like flaws, they add to the coin's uniqueness and desirability. The condition of the coin is equally crucial when determining value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, where 70 represents a perfect, flawless specimen, often described as mint state 70. Most 2005 dimes in circulation show signs of wear and tear, dulling details and softening edges. But some coins, especially those kept carefully in collector sets or coin holders, remain in pristine condition decades after being minted. Proof coins from San Francisco with the S mint mark are especially sought after. These coins were struck with polished dies and planchets, giving them a brilliant, mirror-like finish and incredibly sharp details. Proof dimes were never meant for everyday use, they were specially made for collectors and often come in sets. A 2005 proof Roosevelt dime in perfect condition with a mint error could be a jackpot find. Now, when it comes to value, the average 2005 Roosevelt dime typically isn't worth more than face value, or just a small premium if uncirculated. But rare mint mark variations, minting errors, and especially high-grade proof coins paint a very different picture. The big reveal: if you have a 2005 Roosevelt dime with the right mint mark, combined with an unusual minting error like a double die or an off-center strike, and it's in exceptional condition, you could be sitting on a coin worth an eye-watering $70,000. Yes, $70,000 for a single dime, something so small it fits in the palm of your hand, yet with a value that rivals some of the most prized collectibles. This amazing value shows just how thrilling and unpredictable the world of coin collecting can be. Every coin tells a story, and sometimes, that story leads to a fortune. So, next time you're sorting through coins, give the 2005 Roosevelt dime a second look. Check for that mint mark, look closely for doubling or misalignments, and if it looks especially sharp or unusual, consider having it professionally graded. Today, we're exploring a piece of American currency that's been in pockets and purses across the nation for decades, the United States Roosevelt $1 dime from 1980, complete with its mint mark. While many might consider it just spare change, this particular dime hides incredible potential value that many collectors dream about. So, buckle up, because by the end of this deep dive, you'll understand why a 1980 Roosevelt dime could be worth a staggering $95,000. First, let's set the scene. The year 1980 was a dynamic period in American history. The country was navigating the tail end of the 1970s economic challenges, high inflation and shifting political landscapes, but also embracing innovation and change. Against this backdrop, the United States Mint was steadily producing coins that blended tradition with the everyday utility of commerce. The Roosevelt dime, named after the beloved President Franklin D. Roosevelt, had been a constant since 1946, celebrated not only for its design but also for its symbolic representation of resilience and leadership. The design itself remains iconic. The obverse features a dignified portrait of Roosevelt, capturing his spirit and legacy. The reverse displays a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, signifying liberty, peace, and strength. This imagery has stayed largely consistent, making the Roosevelt dime one of the most recognizable coins in American currency. Now, focusing on the 1980 issue, these dimes were minted in three main locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each location adds its own mint mark to the coin. Philadelphia coins generally carry no mint mark for circulation pieces, Denver coins are marked with a D, and San Francisco coins bear an S, often on proof versions meant for collectors. The mint mark, though tiny, plays a huge role in determining a coin's rarity and value. For everyday use, the 1980 Roosevelt dime was common, billions were produced and passed through countless hands. However, this widespread circulation has made pristine examples increasingly rare, especially those with unusual minting characteristics or errors that collectors prize. Speaking of errors, let's talk about what makes certain 1980 dimes stand out. One of the most sought-after features is the double die variety, where a misalignment during the die creation process results in a doubling effect on the coin's design elements, often seen on the date, lettering, or the portrait itself. These double dies create a unique, striking visual effect that sets these coins apart from the standard issues. Another fascinating mint error is the off-center strike, where the coin blank is improperly positioned in the press, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted. The degree of off-centering can vary, but the more dramatic the misalignment, the more valuable the coin becomes, especially if it's still in great condition. Additionally, die cracks and cuds, raised, unstruck areas caused by die damage, are anomalies that add collectible value. These imperfections tell the story of the minting process and can make a dime from 1980 truly one of a kind. The condition of the coin is another crucial factor. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, where 70 represents a flawless, perfect specimen, often referred to as mint state 70. Most 1980 dimes in circulation show signs of wear, softened details, scratches, and dull surfaces. However, uncirculated coins, especially those kept in collector sets or coin holders, retain their sharpness and original luster. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, carrying the S mint mark, are particularly prized among collectors. These proof dimes were struck using specially polished dies and planchets to create a mirror-like finish with razor-sharp details. Unlike circulation coins, proofs were meant for collectors and often come in pristine condition, significantly boosting their value. Now, here's where things get really exciting. When you combine a rare mint mark, a desirable mint error like a double die or off-center strike, and a coin in exceptional condition, the value skyrockets. Collectors and investors alike have driven prices for such unique 1980 Roosevelt dimes into the upper echelons of the coin collecting world. So, what's the potential value of such a remarkable dime? The headline grabber: if you have a 1980 Roosevelt $1 dime with the right mint mark and an extraordinary minting error, preserved in superb condition, it could be worth an astonishing $95,000. That's $95,000 for a coin so small it fits easily in your pocket, yet holds immense historical significance and financial potential. this is the magic of numismatics. The study and collection of coins, where tiny details and keen eyes can unlock hidden treasures. Every coin has a story, and for some, that story includes a spectacular twist of rarity and value. So, if you happen upon a 1980 Roosevelt dime, take a moment to inspect it carefully. Check the mint mark, examine the date and lettering for doubling, and look for any signs of off-centering or die cracks. If it looks sharp and unusual, consider having it professionally graded. This could confirm its status as a rare and valuable find. Today, we're diving deep into a classic piece of American currency that many overlook but holds a fascinating story and potentially incredible value, the United States Roosevelt $1 dime from 1979, complete with its mint mark. While most dimes seem like simple, everyday change, some coins from this year have caught the eye of collectors worldwide. Stay tuned as we unpack everything from the coin's history and design to rare minting errors and the jaw-dropping value it can command. By the end of this video, you'll be amazed to learn why this small dime could be worth as much as $85,000. Let's start by setting the stage with a bit of context. The Roosevelt dime was first minted in 1946, shortly after President Franklin D. Roosevelt's passing, honoring his legacy and his efforts in leading America through some of its toughest times. The coin quickly became a staple in American wallets, appreciated not only for its design but also for the symbolism it carried: hope, strength, and resilience. By 1979, the dime had been in circulation for over 3 decades, but these particular coins hold their own unique place in numismatic history. The year 1979 was a fascinating period in the United States. The nation was grappling with economic challenges, including inflation and the aftershocks of the energy crisis. Still, the U.S. Mint was working hard to maintain a consistent, high-quality production of coins, including the Roosevelt dime, minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each of these mints leaves a small but significant mint mark on the coin: no mark for Philadelphia circulation coins, D for Denver, and an S for San Francisco proof coins. At first glance, a 1979 dime might seem like any other, but collectors know that the devil is in the details. While billions of these dimes were produced, the survival of those in pristine, mint state condition is far rarer, especially when we consider minting anomalies and rare variations that occurred during production. One of the most intriguing features to watch out for is the double die variety. This occurs during the coin striking process when the die, which is the metal stamp that impresses the coin's design, accidentally receives 2 slightly misaligned impressions. The result? Letters, numbers, or even Roosevelt's face appearing doubled or shadowed, sometimes very subtly, other times strikingly obvious. These double dies transform an ordinary coin into a highly sought-after rarity that collectors pay top dollar for. Another error type that makes 1979 Roosevelt dimes valuable is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank coin planchet isn't properly centered under the die when struck, causing part of the design to be pushed off the coin's surface. Depending on how off-center the strike is, these errors can be quite dramatic, revealing a crescent-shaped missing portion or a flattened edge. Off-center strikes are rare, and their value increases dramatically when the coin is still in excellent condition. Additionally, die cracks and die breaks sometimes appear on these dimes. These are small raised lines or raised blobs on the surface of the coin caused by cracks or damage to the die itself. What might seem like a flaw to the untrained eye is actually a unique hallmark, adding collectible appeal. The condition of the coin plays a massive role in its value. Coins are graded on a numerical scale from 1 to 70, where 70 signifies a perfect, flawless specimen, something that's practically impossible to find in circulation. Most 1979 Roosevelt dimes show wear from decades of handling, but uncirculated examples with full luster, sharp details, and no blemishes can fetch premium prices. Proof coins, especially those from the San Francisco Mint bearing the S mint mark, deserve special attention. These coins are struck with polished dies and planchets to create a mirror-like finish and sharp detail. They were produced primarily for collectors and kept in protective cases, making them far more likely to remain in pristine condition compared to their circulated counterparts. Now, what truly makes a 1979 Roosevelt dime extraordinarily valuable is when you combine an exceptional mint mark, a significant mint error like a double die or an off-center strike, and top-tier condition. These rare combinations transform an otherwise common coin into a collector's dream. So, what's the ultimate value? A 1979 Roosevelt 1 dime, bearing the right mint mark, with a remarkable minting error and preserved in exceptional condition, can be worth an astounding $85,000, yes, $85,000 for a coin that most of us barely notice when it jingles in our pockets. This extraordinary value highlights the thrill and unpredictability of coin collecting, where something small and everyday can become a valuable piece of history and wealth. If you're lucky enough to come across a 1979 Roosevelt dime, take your time examining it carefully. Look for the mint mark, scrutinize the date and lettering for any doubling, and watch for signs of off-centering or die cracks. If you suspect you have something special, consider getting it professionally graded. This step can authenticate its rarity and potentially skyrocket its value. Today, we're zooming in on a seemingly ordinary but incredibly intriguing piece of American currency, the United States Roosevelt 1 dime from the year 2000, complete with its mint mark. While this dime might look like any other coin in circulation, there's much more beneath the surface that makes it special for collectors. By the end of this deep dive, you'll discover why a 2000 Roosevelt dime can be worth as much as $75,000. Let's start by setting the historical backdrop. The year 2000 was a turning point for the world, the dawn of a new millennium filled with excitement and technological advancement. It was a time when America was reflecting on the past century and looking forward to the future. Coins minted during this period, including the Roosevelt dime, hold a place in history as symbols of continuity amidst rapid change. The Roosevelt dime itself has been a beloved fixture since 1946. Designed to honor Franklin D. Roosevelt, the coin is a tribute to his leadership and legacy, especially his advocacy for polio research. The design features a dignified profile of Roosevelt on the obverse, facing left, capturing his strong yet compassionate spirit. The reverse side features the Torch of Liberty, flanked by an olive branch symbolizing peace and an oak branch representing strength and independence. These symbols have resonated with Americans for decades, making the Roosevelt dime not just currency, but a piece of art and history. In the year 2000, the U.S. Mint produced Roosevelt dimes in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint adds a tiny but critical mark, the mint mark, to the coin. Philadelphia coins of this year generally do not have a mint mark, Denver coins are marked with a D, and San Francisco proof coins carry an S. These small letters are key for collectors because they indicate where the coin was struck and often influence rarity and value. At first glance, the 2000 Roosevelt dime appears like any other. It's easy to overlook, especially since billions of these coins entered circulation. However, collectors have uncovered fascinating varieties and errors from this year that have elevated some of these dimes to legendary status in numismatic circles. One of the standout features that collectors seek in the 2000 dime is the double die error. This error happens during the minting process when the coin's design is stamped twice, but slightly misaligned. This results in a doubling effect that can appear on the date, lettering, or even the portrait of Roosevelt himself. These doubled features give the coin a unique look that's instantly recognizable to trained eyes. Coins exhibiting this error are rare and highly coveted by collectors. Another captivating error found on some 2000 Roosevelt dimes is the off-center strike. This occurs when the blank metal disc, called a planchet, is not properly centered under the coin press during striking. The result? A dime that shows only part of Roosevelt's portrait or the torch, with a portion of the coin's edge missing the design completely. The extent of off-centering varies, but more pronounced errors generally command higher values. Then there are die cracks and die breaks, small raised lines or lumps on the coin caused by cracks in the mint's metal dies. Though these might look like imperfections, to collectors they add character and uniqueness. Each crack tells a story of the coin's creation, making each coin one of a kind. The condition of the coin is a critical factor that significantly influences its value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, where a grade of 70 represents a flawless coin with no signs of wear or handling. Most 2000 Roosevelt dimes in circulation have some wear, but those kept in mint condition, or those preserved as proof coins from San Francisco, can look nearly perfect. boasting sharp details and brilliant surfaces. Proof coins, especially those minted in San Francisco and marked with an S, are struck with polished dies and special planchets to create a mirror-like finish. These proofs are primarily intended for collectors and often come in protective packaging, helping them retain their pristine condition and making them especially valuable when combined with minting errors. What truly sets certain 2000 Roosevelt dimes apart and makes them extraordinarily valuable is the combination of rare mint marks, significant mint errors, and exceptional preservation. These factors turn an otherwise common coin into a rare collector's gem. So, just how valuable can such a coin be? A 2000 Roosevelt 1 dime with the right mint mark, combined with a major minting error like a double die or off-center strike, and preserved in near-perfect condition, can be worth an astonishing $75,000. $75,000 for a dime that most people would just toss into a jar or tip jar. It's a powerful reminder that even the smallest objects can hold extraordinary value. If you ever come across a 2000 Roosevelt dime, take a closer look. Examine the mint mark, look for any doubling on the date or lettering, and inspect the coin for off-center strikes or die cracks. If you think you might have a rare find, it's wise to have the coin professionally graded and authenticated, as this can dramatically influence its market value. Today, we're diving into a modern classic with an unexpected twist, the United States Roosevelt 1 dime from the year 2010, featuring its unique mint mark. At first glance, it may look like just another dime in your pocket or change drawer, but there's a lot more going on here. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll learn why a 2010 Roosevelt dime could be worth a staggering $98,000. To truly appreciate the significance of this dime, let's start by revisiting its roots. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946 as a tribute to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a leader who profoundly impacted America during challenging times. His dedication to public service, especially his fight against polio, inspired the U.S. Mint to create this enduring design. The obverse features Roosevelt's dignified profile, while the reverse showcases a torch of liberty flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, symbolizing peace and strength. Fast forward to 2010, a year when the world was in the midst of rapid technological advances, economic recovery, and a growing fascination with collectibles and numismatics. The U.S. Mint produced Roosevelt dimes that year at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S for proof coins. The mint mark is a small but critical detail that can significantly impact a coin's rarity and value. On the surface, the 2010 Roosevelt dime seems like an everyday coin used in millions of transactions. But here's where it gets exciting. Despite the high volume of coins produced that year, some dimes have unique characteristics, rare minting errors and variations that elevate their desirability among collectors. And as we know, rarity combined with excellent condition can turn an ordinary coin into a priceless treasure. One of the most fascinating aspects collectors search for in 2010 Roosevelt dimes is the double die error. This error occurs when the coin's design is accidentally impressed twice during the minting process, with a slight shift between impressions. The result? You get a visible doubling effect on parts of the design, most commonly on the date or lettering. This doubling can be subtle or quite pronounced, and coins exhibiting this error are exceedingly rare and highly coveted. Another eye-catching minting anomaly is the off-center strike. In this case, the coin blank isn't properly aligned under the die during striking, causing the design to appear shifted or cut off on one side. Depending on how off-center the strike is, these coins can look like a crescent-shaped portion of the coin's surface is missing the design altogether. Off-center strikes are prized by collectors because they are unique, scarce, and visually striking. Then there are the die cracks and die breaks, small raised lines or blobs caused by cracks or damage to the dies used in the minting process. While these might be seen as flaws by the casual observer, to collectors they add character and uniqueness. Each die crack marks a distinct moment in the coin's creation, making every affected coin a one-of-a-kind piece of history. The condition or grade of a coin is absolutely crucial in determining its value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a perfect, flawless specimen. Most 2010 dimes in circulation show somewhere from everyday use, but the rare coins preserved in pristine condition, especially those kept as proof coins, can command incredible prices. Proof coins are specially made for collectors, struck with polished dies and planchets to create a mirror-like finish and sharp details, and they often remain in pristine condition thanks to careful handling and protective packaging. What really makes a 2010 Roosevelt dime extraordinary is when it combines one or more of these mint errors with the right mint mark and outstanding preservation. For example, a 2010 dime from the Denver Mint, D, mint mark, showing a double die error or a significant off-center strike engraved at a high level can become a show-stopping rarity. Now, you might be wondering what such a coin is worth in today's market. The answer is astonishing. A 2010 Roosevelt 1 dime, bearing the correct mint mark, exhibiting rare mint errors, and preserved in mint condition, can be valued at an incredible $98,000. That's right, $98,000 for a coin most people casually use every day. This incredible value underscores the magic of coin collecting and numismatics, where hidden treasures often lie beneath the surface of the most familiar objects. If you find yourself holding a 2010 Roosevelt dime, take a moment to inspect it carefully. Look for the tiny mint mark, examine the date and lettering for any doubling, and check for off-center strikes or unusual markings. If you think you may have a rare find, consider sending it to a professional grading service. Getting your coin authenticated and graded can make a huge difference in confirming its rarity and maximizing its market value. Thanks so much for joining me on this in-depth exploration of the 2010 Roosevelt 1 dime. If you enjoyed this video and want to continue discovering amazing coin stories and values, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. I love hearing your thoughts and stories, so please drop a comment below if you have questions or want to share your own rare coin experiences. Until next time, keep your eyes sharp, your curiosity alive, and happy collecting, because the next incredible treasure might be sitting right in your pocket.